So, how about a quick little cat story before we get started? Our cat tree is located in the corner of our living room, behind and to the left of my chair. And Zot, who's our special needs kitty, he's got a mild case of wobbly cat syndrome. Despite that, he loves to sleep in the very top perch on that cat chair. He's got no problem climbing and getting down and stuff. So, anyway, after lunch, he usually comes climbing down and looks for a lap. Yeah. Our two cats, for those of you who don't know, the only thing they need is food and a litter box, and the only thing they want is laps and cuddles. That's basically their life. Anyway, Zot comes down to get in one of our laps, usually mine first. And this time I could see him coming down, so I took my glass of water and just was pushing it away from the corner of the side table there, just so that his tail wouldn't knock it over and whatnot. And unfortunately, my mistake was I signaled for him to come down before I did that. So of course I had my arm right there, and he comes bounding down onto the armrest of my chair. And here's the result. It looks worse than it is, but yeah, it actually stopped bleeding within a few minutes, and it didn't hurt quite as much as I thought it would. But anyway, I was a little concerned there for a minute because it looked deep, but yeah, it wasn't all that bad. But anyway, life with cats. Greetings, one and all, and welcome once again to Tom's Hit Parade. By the way, I invite you to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, share this video with your friends, and leave me your thoughts down in the comment section. That would be fan-flipping-tastic. Anyway, yes, another haul video for you guys. I kind of thought I was going to have one. It originally was going to be much smaller than this one is, because this comes with a couple of stories. This is actually like two or three, or maybe even four hauls in one. It's going to be in like four sections. That's for sure. But anyway, last week I had a doctor's appointment on Monday. Took the day off because I am in a job that has good enough benefits that I can take an entire day off almost whenever I want to, and I can do that, when I have doctor's appointments and whatever. So yeah, after the doctor's appointment, that was first thing in the morning. Had some time to hit three of the local St. Vinnie stores here in the Eugene, Springfield area. And yeah, I thought that was going to be the extent of this whole video. But we had actually, I knew this at the time. My brother and I, yesterday, I'm filming this video on Sunday, so yesterday was Saturday. My brother and I had planned a trip out to the coast, to the city of Florence. It's a city out on the coast of Oregon, directly due west of Eugene, about an hour west of Eugene. And they have a St. Vinnie's thrift store, a Habitat for Humanity restore, and a Goodwill store, all in the city of Florence. None of which I had never been to. None of which I had ever been to before. So we did that yesterday, and I had the whole ride out there. I did my best to keep my expectations low, because Florence is a fairly decent sized city, but Oregon coastal cities are pretty much all small, relatively small, compared to like Eugene and Salem, and of course Portland. So it's like you never know what you're going to get at a St. Vinnie store. But then my brother made a good point in that a lot of retirees live out on the coast. If they just decide to get rid of their CD collections, or they pass on and their family gets rid of their CD collections, where are they going to take them? Probably to the thrift stores. There's only one record store in Florence, and I will get to that in a moment. I actually got to visit that record store as well, by the way. So yeah, I had my expectations low the entire ride out there, just so that I wouldn't be disappointed. And it turns out I did not need to have my expectations so low. Yes, I've got a lot of stuff to go through. I'm organizing these into, as I said, into three sections. I'm going to kind of order them by the price that I paid per disc. And our first stop was the Habitat for Humanity restore, because they open at 9 and St. Vinnie's didn't open until 10. And they had no CDs or DVDs or even records inside the store, but outside in two shopping carts sitting out by the door. They had, one of them was full of VHS tapes. The other one was full of, more like half full of books, DVDs, and CDs. Little signs on the shopping carts, Everything 25 cents a piece. So yes, this first bunch of CDs here I will show you I got for 25 cents each. And being that they were a quarter a piece, I got stuff that I probably would not have ordinarily have gotten. You know, I felt sad that they were sitting there, so I decided to, stuff's going to slide around, sorry. I decided to kind of take pity on them and take them off their hands. So yeah, I brought home more than I ordinarily would, but I'm most likely going to listen to it all, even though this haul and previous hauls are making my CD backlog ridiculous again. I beat it all the way down to like within 10 CDs, and now it's dozens of CDs in my backlog. Anyway, this first thing is actually a 4-disc box set of L'amour, piano stylings by Van Craven, and it is piano renditions of popular songs. You can kind of see the track listing here. So yeah, you know, just kind of maybe put it on as background music, if nothing more. And I got two other CDs by Van Craven, kind of the same sort of, you know, scheme, but they weren't actually part of the set. Oh, and it looks like 2 of the discs in this set were still sealed. So, and then I got a set of 5 CDs of Rock Dreams, and these are Royal Philharmonic Orchestra renditions of popular songs. So, you know, basically what these 2 box sets and their accompanying CDs are, yes, it's pretty much Muzak, you know, the stuff that you'd hear on. Actually, younger people out there might not be familiar with Muzak as it used to be. It used to be cheesy instrumental renditions of pop songs, and you know, and now they actually have the real thing, you know, the real songs from 60s, 70s, 80s, etc. But yes, back in the day when I was younger, you got to hear the good stuff, cheesy instrumental renditions of pop songs. Anyway, so yeah, this you can maybe sort of see, yeah, each of these CDs only has like 7 tracks on it for some reason. I don't know if these renditions are particularly long or if they just didn't feel like filling up the CDs for whatever reason. But you know, your average stuff, you know, as you can see by the song listings. I kind of had my curiosity was kind of piqued by, you know, orchestral renditions of pop songs. So, and kind of like with the other box set of piano renditions, there were a couple of other loose CDs in this Rock Dreams, uh, with the Rock Dreams name on them. This is renditions of the Beatles. So, yeah. Yesterday, Let It Be, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Here Comes the Sun, Penny Lane, and then just another miscellaneous collection. This one is called London. I guess these were songs written by English songwriters. I don't know, or made famous by English artists. But anyway, so yeah, that cheesy old stuff. But I did find a few really interesting legit CDs by real artists. This first one, and again, this is one I wouldn't ordinarily have picked up, but it's got a couple of artists on here that I kind of like, and this is Andrew Lloyd Webber Gold. It is a compilation of songs, not necessarily songs from the original soundtracks of Webber musicals, but performed. Some of them are performed by significant artists, and yet it's a little bright, so you might not be able to see the track listing, but you've got Barbara Streisand sings As If We Never Said Goodbye. We've got Sarah Brightman. Madonna sings You Must Love Me. Charlotte Church sings Pie Jesu. Is that how you pronounce it? Okay. I jokingly call that song Pie for Jesus, just because Piejesu. Anyway, Michael Crawford, Patti LuPone, Michael Ball, Glenn Close, and Alan Campbell. I didn't realize Glenn Close sings. Mandy Patinkin sings Oh What a Circus. Tom Jones and Sounds of Blackness sing The Vaults of Heaven. So it's an interesting, there's like 4-5 songs by Sarah Brightman on here. So, and yeah, come to think of it, she did do a Webber tribute album. So, yeah. But anyway, that looked kind of interesting. So, if nothing else, I can maybe sell it to a local store. Then this next one is by an actor, and I I think I knew that he sang. I didn't know he put out any recordings. Robert Guillaume. There was a sitcom back in the 70s called Benson, which was a spin-off of another sitcom called Soap, and Robert Guillaume was the star of Benson. And but yeah, this is a 2-disc set of, and it looks like it is primarily show tunes. But yeah, 2 CDs, and it's put out on the Time Life label. But yeah, I figured that would definitely be worth listening to. I don't think I've ever heard Robert Guillaume's voice, singing voice, so could be interesting. And then here, all of that other stuff was worth this find. This was absolutely the find of this stop. The score from Batman, the original um, Tim Burton Batman movie by Danny Elfman, 25 cents for the score from Batman. I had this a long time ago and gotten rid of most of my Danny Elfman collection way back when. I don't know why, because I'm stupid. But yeah, reacquired this, and for a freaking quarter, you can't beat that. So yeah, needless to say, that was a pretty amazing stop. Yes, I spent $7 and got a truckload of CDs. Now, the next section of this video, okay, actually, I lied from what I said I was going to do at the beginning of this video. I said I was going to show these CDs in order of the price I paid per CD. I'm not going to do that. It makes more sense to do them in the sections I'm going to do them in. This next section is going to be my CDs that I got from the Goodwill store and from the record store. So I might as well break and tell you about the record store now. It is a record store called Albatross Records. It is in Florence, Oregon. It is the only record store in Florence, and it's only open a few days a week. Right now, I think he said he's open Thursday through Saturday. So you kind of have to time it right to be there. But it is a great little store. It's very neat. It's not huge. It's cozy, but it's not cramped. And I think he wants to expand it a little bit, but for right now, for the amount of stuff he has, it's a perfect size, I think. And it is 90% records. He's got maybe 500 CDs. Um, the records look like they're in line with prices you'd find most anywhere else. But the CDs are actually pretty well priced for what he has. He has a very well curated CD section. Most of the stuff in there, at least half of it, is stuff that I almost never see at any other stores, even the stores up in Portland. So yeah, he seems to take great care in having a specific selection there of CDs there. So yeah, and all the CDs there are in spotless condition. So yes, if you happen to be anywhere near Florence, Oregon, check on the Instagram, and I'm sure also on Google. They show the store hours. Albatross Records in Florence, Oregon. It's a great little store. It's just a couple blocks away from Moe's world famous chowder restaurant. So there you go. But anyway, yeah, the first handful of CDs here are from the Goodwill store. We've got Rodrigo y Gabriela, a Latin guitar duo, and I've never listened to their stuff before. I've seen their CDs here and there for a long time, but this was a live album, live in Japan, and it actually has a CD and a DVD. So I figured, why not give it a shot? And I think all the CDs at Goodwill were $1.99. So yeah, no reason not to give Rodrigo y Gabriela a try. And then I got here's a really good find. Decade, Neil Young, the 2-disc greatest hits set. And most everywhere I see this, the discs are in kind of pathetic, scratched up condition, but these were fantastic. Yeah, this store, I seem to have better luck with the conditions of the CDs in this Goodwill store than with most of the others I've been to. So, Goodwill, not St. Vinnie's. St. Vinnie's does a very good job of having CDs in good condition. Next one I found is by the Dave Brubeck Quartet, Dave Digs Disney, an album of his renditions of Disney songs from Disney animated movies. Thought that would be very fun to try. Excuse me. And then, spoiler alert: you will be seeing CDs of this particular design later on in this video. The Kingston Trio, the Capitol Collectors Series installment. Yeah, Kingston Trio is a folk trio that was popular back in the 50s and 60s. So I thought I'd give it a shot. Now, I have several of these Capital Collectors Series CDs already, and I just thought I'd add to the collection. I forgot to show you the, or did I forget to show you the back of the Dave Diggs Disney CD? Fun stuff. And that is actually all the stuff that all the CDs that I got at the Goodwill store. So just a few, but hey, I usually don't find much of anything at Goodwill, so it was a worthwhile stop. And now let's check out the CDs I got from Albatross Records. First one is a 2-disc compilation, Aretha Franklin Jazz to Soul. And this is not your typical Aretha Franklin compilation. It's got quite a few unusual picks for songs, unusual song choices. So yeah, this is obviously a specifically aimed retrospective of Aretha's catalog. And yeah, $7 for 2 discs. And the prices pretty much get better from there. So yeah, that was a nice find. And then a classic soul singer, Laverne Baker. I thought I'd give her a try. I don't think I've heard any of her stuff before. So sorry about the light and the glare and the trying to aim the CDs properly so that you don't get me in the reflection. But yeah, always up to give a try to a soul singer that I have not listened to before. So there you go. Should be fun listening. And yeah, just $3. And then we have Buster Poindexter. Yes, this is the alter ego of David Johansen, who was the frontman, the lead singer of the New York Dolls. Yes, a punk artist back in the day. And in the 80s, he took a temporary foray into a throwback jazz swing era persona, which he named Buster Poindexter. The song Hot, Hot, Hot was a significant hit back in the 80s. So give it a try. That'll basically tell you what the sound of Buster Poindexter. Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of being an 80s kid, and that this was kind of it was a song. The Hot, Hot, Hot was a song, popular single back then. I was kind of been hoping that one day I would run into this album. And another one I was really hoping to run into, and I finally did, is the very best of Jackie Wilson, one of the best soul R&B singers from the 60s. I've always enjoyed his stuff, but I've never been able to. Actually, I think once before, I think I had a compilation, but it wasn't very good for some reason. But yes, these Rhino very best of CDs, which I've got a few of, they always have a very good track listing and all that. And of course, Lonely Teardrops, his big single, is on here, and Reet Petite and several other great songs. So was very happy to find this one, and for $4. Yeah, I kind of struck gold at Albatross. Here's another compilation series that you will see a few of in this video, the 20th Century Masters Millennium Collection. I got the Aaron Neville installment. Yeah, I've had another compilation of his before, but I'm kind of a sucker for collecting these, these series of series, things. And so when this one came up, I decided to go ahead and pick it up. And yes, Tell It Like It Is, and Everybody Plays the Fool. Those are two of his big songs. So yeah, was happy to pick that one up. And another one in the Millennium Collection that I didn't know existed, and I've been wanting to try this group out for a long time, and I never have, the Fairport Convention. They are a folk or folk rock act, and I can't remember, one guy, fairly famous guy, got his start in the Fairport Convention. And while I'm yammering, let me see if I can say, Richard Thompson. Yeah, from Richard Thompson fame. From Richard and Linda Thompson, yes. I believe he was the only one of the one of most significant note that came from Fairport Convention. So yeah, finally got my hands on some Fairport Convention. Hopefully this CD consists of their most well-known stuff. And then the last two I got from Albatross Records were by Kansas, and these are actually the remastered versions. I've got Songs for America. Yeah, got that one there. Nice remastered with one or two bonus tracks. Yeah, two bonus tracks, as well as Leftoverture. And yep, believe it or not, I don't think I have ever listened to a Kansas album all the way through. I've got a greatest hits collection. I love, Dust in the Wind and Carry On Wayward Son. And of course, the big songs, but I've never really taken the time to dive into an album by Kansas. And now I have two to choose from. So, and yes, these were both, I believe, $4 a piece. So, yeah, I got a pretty good selection of stuff from Albatross Records. Thank you, Albatross. I will be visiting again next time I come out to Florence, and your guys are open. Okay, now the rest of this video is devoted to my finds from the various St. Vinnie's stores I went to. The first half of what I'm going to show you is from the local St. Vinnie's here in the Eugene Springfield area, and the second half is stuff that I found in Florence, and I found quite a bit, as you will see. First up, a couple of French artists here. Carla Bruni, this is her debut album, Quelqu'un m'a dit, Someone Told Me, is what that stands for, or what that means. And yes, she is probably better known now as being the First Lady or former First Lady of France. Yes, but she was a singer before that. So yeah, always been curious to give her stuff a try. And then another French artist we have, and he's been around for a long, long time, Charles Aznavour. He's been around since I think the 50s. And this is a greatest hits collection. It's got 20 songs on it. Some of them are in French, and actually most of them are in English. But yeah, you can see here the track listing. So yeah, and he's another artist that I've never really given an honest try to, is Charles Aznavour. You know, was a singer for a long, long time, and obviously it must have been very good if he was a singer for that long. So yeah, very interested in giving that one a try. And I've got a handful of jazz and instrumental stuff here. I'm pretty sure it's all jazz. Anyway, Floyd Kramer is a pianist. He's done, I think I got a few cassettes from Sue's Cassette Hall. A couple of years ago, I got some cassettes from a friend of my mother's, and I'm pretty sure a few Floyd Kramer titles were in that assortment. But yeah, I found a CD of his greatest hits, so I figured I'd pick it up. And it looks like an interesting assortment of, Great American Songbook standards, maybe a few movie songs, just a little assortment of just about everything. But anyway, yeah. Then we have Alex Bugnon, I think is how you pronounce his name. The name of the album is This Time Around, and I believe he's an instrumentalist. I'm not sure. These might be songs with vocals in them, but yeah, one of the songs is called Sweet Sticky Thing. It provokes a low-grade ew from me, but anyway. And the track one is called Klukbop, as you can see here. Anyway, this should be an interesting listen, if for no reason than those first two song titles. So yeah, I Will Always Love You. I don't know if that is the Dolly Parton song or not. Then we have, this is a guitar duo. Yes, there are two of them, so it's a duo, a guitar duo from Japan called Gontiti, and the album is called Devonian Boys. And yeah, apparently they did quite a number of albums, a couple of dozen albums, but this one may have been the only one that was released in the States. I think it was in the States. Yeah, it's got a U.S. The U.S. address for Epic Records is on the copyright blah blah down below. So yeah, thought I'd give it a try. They look kind of folkish and maybe a little bit whimsical from their outfits on the back and from the cover art, possibly. So I figured it was worth a try for 99 cents, which is what they are at the St. Vinnie's stores. What the heck? And then we have Pierre Bensusan, which I think is how you pronounce it, and his album Spices. Obviously an instrumental guitarist, and it looks like he does a little bit of a world music thing, according to if the track listing is anything to indicate. So yeah, actually several song titles in French. So maybe these are some French folk songs or something, which is more of a reason for me to pick it up. Then we have Leona Boyd and her album Persona. I figured that would be interesting. The cover certainly makes it look interesting. It is actually produced by Michael Kamen, who is he went on to be a film score composer and a record producer, obviously. And I think he was with a rock band also, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, some interesting song titles on this one as well. Maybe a couple of. I guess. Oh well, there is a Brahms song adapted, and a Vangelis song, and a Venezuelan folk song as well. So yeah, so getting a little bit of world music in with my jazz in a couple of those titles. Now we're getting to some fun stuff here. The very best of the Chipmunks. I couldn't resist. I mean, honestly, and for 99 cents. So yeah, just you're the it is the most popular songs by the Chipmunks, and perhaps some unpopular songs, but or less popular songs. So yeah, I look forward to listening to that one. And sorry about the condition of some of these CDs. I have not had a chance to recase them yet, but I just wanted to show off my my wares. This one was one of the best scores of St. Vinny's. It is Charlie Brown Christmas. As you can see here, it is a collector's edition CD and DVD. So yes, it's got excuse me, the CD of the album, of course, and the DVD of the special. So I'm looking forward. I haven't watched the Charlie Brown Christmas since I was a kid. So yeah, come post Thanksgiving, early part of December, it's going to be fun popping that in and watching it for the first time in forever. So yeah, was very happy to get that. And like everything else here, 99 cents, or everything else at St. Vinny's. And a couple of other holiday albums I picked up. A Lovely Way to Spend Christmas. This is Kristen Chenoweth's holiday album. So I've got 4 of her other CDs, so I figured I'd pick it up. And then the classic album by Nat King Cole, The Christmas Song. Figured I'd pick that up. And I've seen it in a couple other places, but this is, I'm pretty sure this is a faithful recreation of the cover from the original album, and that is one reason why I picked it up. And being that it's the original album cover, I would not be surprised, I haven't done research yet, if they stuck with the original track listing for the album too. I don't like it when they put out new versions with a revamped track listing. If I'm going to get it on CD, I want the one that is most faithful as possible to the original album. That's just I kind of like I appreciate the authenticity. And this next one, I picked this one up out of curiosity because of both the title, well, mainly the album title. It's an artist named Ike Riley, and the album is called Salesmen and Racists. I have no idea. Like I said, my curiosity has gotten the better of me. Track 2 is called Angels and Whores. Track 3, Kami Drives a Nova. So yeah. I'm going to be very interested to find out what kind of music is on this album. So yeah. Looked him up a little bit, but couldn't derive much. And I didn't want to take the time to really read up. I mean, this was like I was standing in the store, so I wanted to not take forever. So could be interesting to listen to. Anyway, and I mentioned a few minutes ago the Millennium Collection 20th Century Masters. I picked up a couple more of those at St. Vinny's. Brenda Lee, a popular singer from the 50s and 60s. Yeah, figured pick up her hits. I must have 20, 25 of these Millennium Collection albums now. And then Patti LaBelle. Gotta love Patti LaBelle. Yes, New Attitude from Beverly Hills Cop. And it doesn't have. Oh no, Pointer Sisters did Neutron Dance. That was them. But yeah, On My Own with Michael McDonald. Let's see. If you ask me to, that was her big ballad, beautiful song. But yeah, a great selection of songs, as the 20th Century Masters usually delivers on these CDs, or actually delivered because they don't do that series anymore. And then I've become a bit fond of Judy Collins, the classic folk singer from the 60s and 70s, lately, and I found a 1990 album of hers, Fires of Eden, that I thought I'd go ahead and give a shot. So, yeah. And mind you, I just came home from with these yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to listen to any of them yet. But yeah, that might be interesting. And then we have Matisyahu, his album Youth. I tried out Matisyahu before. He didn't really stick. I kind of appreciated what I heard, but it didn't really stick. That was several years ago, so I wanted to give him a try again. And with his most popular album, I thought the odds would be best with starting with that one. Then we have a solo album by Barry Gibb, In the Now. I figured I'd give that one a try. 2016 was when this one was done. So yeah. And then this next one, I had seen at Music Millennium up in Portland, and it's been 2 or 3 years ago. I almost bought it. I decided not to, and I regretted it for months afterward. And then here it was sitting at St. Vinny's for 99 cents, stepping out the very best of Joe Jackson. This is a 2-disc set of his best material. So yeah, I did regret not picking it up. At the time it was $6 or $8. So I guess it paid to hold off and wait, because I got it for 99 cents this time. So yeah. These next three, I had 3 CDs on my mental wish list, and each one I had almost bought through some other means, but just hadn't gotten around to it yet. And I happened to find one at each of the 3 St. Vinny's stores I visited in Eugene last Monday. I figured, what are the odds? And first one we have is Side by Side, an album by Tom Grant and Valerie Day. Tom Grant is a jazz pianist. He's actually an Oregonian. I've gotten into him. I discovered him about a year ago, and this is probably my 5th or 6th album of his. So picked it up, and looks interesting, and looking forward to hearing it. Obviously, being a bit of a Tom Grant fan. And then the next one, and I meant to do a specific video before this one, but I haven't yet, so I won't go into detail about why this was a significant purchase to me. But for now, I'll just say I was looking for it. The Tony Bennett and Bill Charlap album, The Silver Lining. This was from 2015. So, yep, I was looking for that. I was going to have House of Records special order it for me, and I kept forgetting to ask them to do it. And it turns out there was a reason I forgot. It was at St. Vinny's for 99 cents. And then the other one I'd kind of been looking for lately was No Jacket Required by Phil Collins. The album needs no introduction, right? I had bought years and years ago, before I really started getting back into vinyl, about a stack of records, mostly from the 80s, from a yard sale in the area here. And I could have sworn that this and at least one other Phil Collins album was part of that stack. I go looking for it the other day. It is not on my record shelf. And I was kind of mystified, because why would I have traded it in or sold it? But then I remembered that was probably a good 4 years before I replaced my stereo and started getting back into vinyl. So maybe I did have it and got rid of it, or maybe I'm mistaken and it never was in that stack. But anyway, now I have the CD, so I don't need to worry about it anymore. And the other really cool find at St. Vinny's, it cost a little more, but when you know who it is, you'll see why. The Beatles, A Hard Day's Night. Yes, it cost me $2.99, but still, for a Beatles CD in excellent condition. And yes, this is the original Capitol issue from the States, but not one of the remastered ones. So, but still, it's a Beatles album, so it's pretty darn cool. So, yeah. So that was my Eugene area St. Vinny's haul. Now let's go ahead and go into the stuff that I found. And I found just as much stuff. Well, I've got just as much stuff to show you that I found in Florence. First off, we have some Frank Sinatra, Come Fly With Me, or Come Dance With Me, excuse me. And you might notice, I don't know if it's actually melted a little bit here on the corner. I don't know how that happened, but everything on this inside the CD is intact. So, and yeah, it is the remastered edition of the disc. So yeah, there we go. And then also Frank Sinatra, and I mentioned a bit ago that the Capitol Collector series, you might be seeing more of those in this video. I found a bunch of them. Got Frank Sinatra. I've got one or two Sinatra comps already, but as I mentioned, I love collecting these series, um, greatest hits series. So I picked that one up. We've also got Dean Martin. Never been a huge fan of Dean Martin, but this was there and it was 99 cents. So why not pick it up? And I guess I'm becoming a collector of these series now. Then we have the Letterman, a folk group from the 50s and 60s, I believe. There's that track listing. So yeah, cool stuff. And also, just to give a lot of these artists a try. I've never really given them a shot. And then we have the Four Freshmen, another pop. Not sure if they might have been a doo-wop pop group from the 40s and 50s, I think. And so yeah, there's that one. So yes, I have definitely augmented my collection of the Capitol Collector Series CDs. Then we have a couple of tribute albums. Here we have Legacy, a tribute to Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. We've got Tonic, The Corrs, Matchbox 20. You can tell the CD was made in the late 90s, 1998. Elton John, The Cranberries, Sean Colvin, Jewel, the Goo Goo Dolls. So yes, a pretty good lineup covering songs from Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. I've got a similar CD that gives the treatment to Carole King's album Tapestry, and I really enjoy that one as well. So there's that one. Then we have a Buddy Holly tribute album, which I've seen this one at a couple of stores, and the condition of the disc was a little iffy, and also it was quite a bit more expensive than this one was. Let's see, the Mavericks, a favorite Tex-Mex group of mine. Nancy Griffith, Los Lobos, the band, the Tractors, which is a kind of a country-ish group. Mary Chapin Carpenter, Marty Stewart, Susie Bogus, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Waylon Jennings and Mark Knopfler do a song on here. So yeah, always enjoyed Buddy Holly's stuff. So definitely worth picking up, giving that a shot. Then we have, this was one of the handful of CDs, 3 or 4 CDs, that was still sealed. It is Magic, a Olivia Newton-John compilation. 20 songs. Actually, 21 songs. It has a Grease mega mix at the end. But yeah, all of the songs you would expect on a Olivia Newton-John hits album. Very cool to get that one. I spent extra time at the St. Vinny's in Florence, first of all, because the CD selection was the CD section there at the Florence St. Vinny's. If it isn't bigger than any of the ones at the Eugene Springfield stores, it's as big as the biggest one in the Eugene Springfield. So I took my time, or I tried to take my time. Went through the whole section once, and I did a quick skim over a second time, and I'm glad I did, because I found this one on my second skim of over the section. And this is Drums of Passion by Olatunji. I think it's Babatunde Olatunji is the artist's name. This was one of the very first album. Well, actually, it says here, originally released in 1960, Drums of Passion is considered by many to be the first world music album recorded in the U.S. So yes, it kind of gave American listeners the first real exposure to African music. So, and I've never heard it. Finally got a chance to listen to it, and it is a remastered version with one bonus track. Yes, a bonus track. So yeah, was very happy that I took the time to do a twice over, I guess that would be, of the CD selection at St. Vinny's. This one looked interesting. I mean, I've heard of this artist, obviously, never gave him a shot. Maxi Priest, this is his self-titled debut album. A reggae artist, I believe. And so yeah, I believe Wild World, I believe, is a cover of the Van Morrison song. Or no, Cat Stevens, excuse me. Anyway, figured I'd give him a shot. Never did check him out back in the day. I've got a couple, 2 CDs here by the same artist. I had seen one but it was really scratched up, and so I didn't buy it. But this St. Vinny's had both of them here. It's an artist by the name of Don Dorsey. He is a synthesizer artist, and these two albums do synth renditions of classical pieces. This is Bach Busters, a selection of Bach tunes, obviously, and Beethoven or Bust. So I figured I had to pick these up, and yeah, might as well show you the track listings very briefly. So yes, I was very, very happy to find both of these, and I think I found one of these on the first run, and I didn't see the other one until the second, my second glance at the racks. This one looked interesting because it is a Japanese CD, as you can see by the spine. Otherwise, I might not have picked it up. Jose Carreras, he is an opera singer from back in the days, from like the 40s and 50s, I think. And this is his Hollywood Golden Classics, songs from Hollywood movies: Born Free, Over the Rainbow, The Way We Were, Moon River, etc., etc. So, kind of like those songs. And as I mentioned recently, I've kind of been on this kick, for whatever reason, of picking up albums of renditions of songs from the movies. Jackie Ivanko, I picked that one up last time. So not sure why I'm on that kick, but yes, so I'd find that one very interesting. And speaking of albums of songs from movies, Real Imagination by Michelle Nicastro. Now I had picked up another album of hers, wasn't really crazy about it, but this one looked really interesting. And it is classic songs from family films. We've got Talk to the Animals from Dr. Dolittle. Let's see, Somewhere in My Memory from Home Alone, John Williams. Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Pure Imagination is one of my favorite classic songs. Chim Chim Cheree and Feed the Birds from Mary Poppins. Candle on the Water from Pete's Dragon. Pete's Dragon is a favorite film from my childhood, and so it's very nice to have that on there. And The Rainbow Connection from the Muppet Movie and Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz. Those two songs would have sold me on the album by themselves. So, yeah, very happy to pick this one up. Looking very much forward to listening to that one. And a couple other albums from one artist. I found a few, 3 or 4 artists here that I bought multiple albums from. This one is a jazz group called Special Effects. Found their self-titled debut album. You can see here. And their sophomore album, Modern Manners. Yeah, seems like some members of the American population could use lessons in modern manners, but I won't get into that. Anyway, but yeah, had been wanting to try out Special Effects for a while, so I'm glad I picked these up. And then you saw a Tom Grant album a few minutes ago, and I found another one here. This is Solo Piano, and I'm guessing that the album is full of solo piano pieces. Anyway, this is, I believe, it's one of his new albums, 2003, an independent release. For a while, he was on Verve Forecast, and then he went indie. So always up for listening to some more of Tom Scott, or Tom Grant. I have 2 Toms in a row. This other one is Tom Scott. This is the best of Tom Scott, a jazz saxophonist, as you can see here. I think I might have heard an album of his before at some point. I don't think it stuck though, but I didn't realize until after I bought this home that he did the theme from the 70s cop show Starsky and Hutch. So it'll be kind of interesting to listen to the actual single version of that theme. So yeah, almost done here. And then we have an American Idol alumni, one of the semifinalists, I believe, John Stevens from the first season, I think. This is an album called Red. I had this a long time ago and got rid of it in a CD pruning, but I've kind of been beefing up my Idols collection, both American and otherwise. And so this was there for 99 cents and decided to pick it up again. And yes, he concentrated on the Great American Songbook rather than on contemporary pop songs. So, and he has a good voice. So yeah. And now the final artist. I've got 3 albums by this artist, and I just decided, since there were so many of them by him, and I was kind of curious to try this guy out. I never have before, I don't think. Anthony Hamilton. I thought I'd give him a shot. Back to Love is this name of this album. Then we've got Soul Life, which, according to Wikipedia, this is a compilation of songs from his first two independent releases, independent or overseas releases. I can't remember which. And so yes, I believe this was his first proper American release. So that one a shot. And then The Point of It All is the last album of his that I picked up. So yeah, like I said, even if he turns out to not be my cup of tea, and that goes with any of these, I didn't waste very much money. Only spent 99 cents a piece. I do have a few more things to show you before I end this video. At Albatross Records, I did pick up one LP, and it was the one Star Trek soundtrack release on vinyl that I did not have yet, and it is Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. There we go, and it is a beautiful gatefold here. Very nice. And it's actually a 2 LP set. You got the soundtrack on LP1, and there was a pop rendition of the theme on LP2, and that was the only track on LP2, so it's on one side. The other side of that album is blank, so a little extra, what the heck. And then also, for some reason, at the St. Vinnie's in Eugene, Springfield, I found a few audiobooks that looked interesting. Musicophilia. This is a nonfiction book. It's about tales of music and the brain. I've seen the book on the shelves, and you may or may not know I'm just not much of a reader, so I figured I may be more apt to listen to the audio versions of some of these books. This one is 6 hours and 5 discs, so it might take a while to listen to, but could be interesting. It's a bit of a scientific study on music. So, yeah. And the last one here is 18 and a half hours on 15 CDs. So yes, it's an unabridged version of a novel by Michael Chabon or Chabon. I can't remember how you pronounce the name. It's called Telegraph Avenue. And it's basically tells the story of two friends who own a record store in the Berkeley, Oakland area of the San Francisco Bay Area. And it talks about their life and misadventures and stuff. And my mother gave me the book. I've read maybe 3 or 4 chapters, maybe a tenth of the way into it, and I stalled. And like I said, I'm just not much of a reader. I don't know why. I wish I were, but maybe, as I said, maybe this will, I'll be more apt to listen to the book than read it. So, but yeah, Michael Chabon has written, I'm pretty sure he's written a couple of movies or co-written scripts for a couple of movies. I can't remember exactly, but so yeah, figured I'd check that one out as well. So yeah, we'll see if I do any better at listening to audiobooks as opposed to reading actual paper books. Or who knows, maybe, miracles have happened. Maybe I will all of a sudden become a reader. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this haul video. Lots of goodies. I'm going to have a lot of fun listening to all this stuff. I will eventually get through it, I'm sure. It might take a while, but anyway, that'll do it for this video. Be sure to like it if you liked it. And before you go, drop me some feedback in the comment section. I'd love to know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to catch my future videos, and hit my username to browse my old videos. Links to my socials and my favorite fellow YouTubers are in the description below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, life's too short to be a music snob.